but these are black people who cultivated a black life. That black life came back to and benefited you, and this is how you do them. Do blacks deal with blacks fairly? Have you had majority positive or majority negative interactions with black customers? Let's leave it at. I'm not. We'll get into the working with each other later, but black customers. What has been your experience? I don't want to say negative or positive. It's too broad. What has been your experience, as an example, with black customers?
I'm going to say this. The overwhelming majority have been positive interactions with people of color. The majority.
I'm not talking about people of color. I want black people specifically.
Black people. Black people, the majority of the interactions have been positive. Dealing with, again, going back to my father's entities, dealing with kids and their parents and that sort of thing. Having that understanding of what he was and what I was in that organization, we've had a lot of positive interactions. Like I'm going to give you an example.
So the reason I no longer operate that school is because I found out parents are fickle.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're dealing, and all I can speak to is the two white kids I had. They were always paid on time. So tell me, in your opinion, or in your experience, not your opinion, your experience,
mm-hmm.
what has been your best and worst experience with a black patron of whatever it is that you're doing, someone that you're serving? Best and worst.
Best experience was requesting the service, paying immediately, not questioning the price. You and I, we were asked to host a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
I got the call. They said, what's the ticket? I hit you and was like, hey, cuz, what's the ticket? You was like, hey, man, I just need such and such and such and such. I hit them back and was like, this is what it's going to be. They were like, bet. And that was it. And as soon as we pulled up, they came out with that and was like, here you go. And I was like, nah, you don't got it. No, I want to get this handled now. Took care of that, gave you that. And it was clockwork. It was immediate. It was what it was supposed to be.
Right.
Now, the worst, I'm still waiting on. So I'm going to say, I'm still waiting.
You haven't had any bad experiences?
No. I'm talking about there's still a tab.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. I ain't gonna tell you when, I ain't gonna tell you how, but I'm still waiting.
How long has it been?
Way too long. Way too long. Like if it were the younger me.
Oh wow.
I would not be waiting any longer.
It's been that long. Okay.
Now I may have had some issues with Johnny Law, but I wouldn't be waiting for no change no more. But again, this is one of those situations where I understand who I was dealing with at the time. I tried to show some grace and provide a service, and it did not come back. And in my old age, I realized that they'll need me before I need them. So let's chalk it up as a loss and move on.
Wow. So
now it's not now you. Give me your best and worst.
My all right. So my best experience, and I like to dwell on this one. I've got a client who it's a church, and they I helped them out during the pandemic. Like, so they came back a little earlier than most. It was definitely social distanced and all this other stuff. But I was over there playing drums because my friend was their keyboardist. They needed a drummer. Well, my church was closed down. I was over there helping them out. They found out that I do sound. Well, we had an interaction beforehand because I had a certain mixer, and my friend says, hey, my church needs a mixer. Are you looking to sell that one? I said, yeah. He said, how much? And I was very fair in the price that I gave him. I was not expecting the price of that particular mixer to go up as used. Like, so anyway, but so I sold it to that church, not knowing that was the same church. Well, I helped them out with sound, and then I got a little bit into like their presentation stuff. And fast forward, they bought a facility. They gutted this building for their church. They called me and hired Authentic Artistry to do all of the sound in the building. They asked me what I thought they should get. I told them certain equipment, went and got it right then. Well, if you really want to stream, you need a gaming computer. You need something with a high. How much is something? I'm like, they're pricey. The next thing I got was, hey, can you meet me at this place so we can look and purchase one?
We need that CPU.
Right. So went through all of that stuff. I installed not only all their sound, I did all of their screens for presentations. I did all of their streaming and audio for their streaming, and did some training with their new sound person and their video people. All of that, and I never gave them a price. At the end of it, they paid me more than what I would have charged them.
Right.
They paid me above what the standard would have been for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And it was like they've always done that. So they've always overachieved. So I never ever give them an invoice. Right. And they never ever let me down. So
that's amazing.
And that's something that I can do with them. I do that with my uncles. I never give a number, but they always look out for me. Now, I think that's because they my daddy's brothers. So, but
and they know we're not about to ask him to do anything. And I was just about to say there's a standard that they have set for you, because I remember you being hired on for a gig that we went to about a year or so ago. And the housing situation was not what you were accustomed to when dealing with the others. And I just remember Cuz saying, well, my uncle always sends me XYZ, and I'm going,
yes,
where?
Right.
Brother, is this safe?
Listen, man. I done got sedity in my old age. You got to remember, I used to be able to run the streets, and I just crashed wherever I got tired. You know what I'm saying? Like the worst low down motels in Ybor City, in Miami, and then some of it's been whatever. But now, man, I got old, man. I need certain type of luxuries in my life.
To walk inside to go to my room, being able to not to walk to my room from the outside and have to look around and see who sees me going in.
No. So that is hilarious to me that people still do that. But anyway, but the worst experience I've had people who got angry at me. One customer in particular got angry at me for the price that they agreed to and then refused to pay after the fact. You know what's funny about that? All right, so I did an event, right? And I'm going to tell you, I did an event and it was all black people. They wanted sound. We got hired to do sound. Well, they didn't have musicians either, so we ended up doing sound and music. Well, we got into rehearsals and the background singers were horrible, so I called in my background singers. You know what I'm saying? We all did it. We did it all. And we had a certain price. At the end of the event, she went up to my partner, Ninja, and Ninja had booked this one. You know what I'm saying? But we're together, so it is what it is. So she came up to him and tried to say, well, the turnout wasn't what we thought it was. Can we? And she was like, well, I don't think I'll be able to pay you this. This is after the event. After the event. Now you want to negotiate price. He said, no. We ain't doing that. And this is how black church folks get you. This lady was like a preacher, right? Fast forward maybe 2 weeks, we're at another event where we're doing sound and music, and we're inside a ballroom. The lady who had organized the event before, who had tried to get a discount, was there as a special guest. She was speaking.
She not her event this time.
Not her event. Okay. These people have already paid us. When we walked in, we're good. We're golden, right? We got little extra perks and everything. She walks up. She gets up, starts talking, starts preaching. She walks over to my drums where I am sitting. Me and Ninja both looking at each other like, this chick here, man. Like, she's the one that tried to screw us a couple weeks ago. She walked over to my drum, didn't recognize me. looked me right in the face and goes, "You know what, young man? I'm just hearing God tell me." She goes, "I don't understand. I'll put it like this." And she put her hand on my cymbal on the drum. She goes, "God just said if this whatever price this is, if this is $1,000, don't come down off your price. Your price is $1,000." When I tell you, one tear came out my eye, one tear, because I'm holding that laugh in so hard, and I look over at Ninja. And we both like, she doesn't remember that she tried to screw 2 weeks before.
Her subconscious was telling her,
right.
This the nigga tried
That wasn't God, that was guilt. That's what
right.
But that shows the dichotomy, man, because I've got some black people that I can lean on and depend on and trust to take care of me at all times in business. And then I've got people like that who will try and take advantage of and come up with reasons why to change an agreement after the fact. And what I think is a problem for us, I just picked up my drink to do this. Hold on.
Yeah, you did. Go and take a sip.
The thing with us is that we have less, we will take more from others than we will from each other.
We do.
And it's a sad thing, but we expect that a black company, a black owned company, is going to give us more because we're black, with us giving them less than we would give anybody else.
Exactly. And that, to me, is a major problem with our community, because again, if we don't trust one another to do the right thing, and if I can't trust you to pay me my worth.
Right. And most of the time, it's not even my worth. It's not even pay me my worth. It's pay me the price that we agreed on.
Right. Because again, the worth of it, for the most part, we're going to give you a discounted rate because we're trying to help, because we see you have something going on. So we actually want to help you out. So we're going to cut a price, or we're going to give you more than what you've actually asked for. But it's just the fact that once we give you that, and if you try to still negotiate and finagle things with us, because the same white t-shirt that you'll go buy from the corner store, you see someone else selling it, and you like, hey man, let me get, and you always want to get a deal. You always want to negotiate. And you don't walk in and negotiate with Mr. Walmart. You don't walk in and negotiate with Miss Target, but you always want to negotiate with the guy standing behind the table, because you know he needs this sale more than they do. So you feel like you can take advantage of that. And if more of us just say no.
Yeah. Listen, man, I know for a fact that I've gone on a journey to try to make sure that I personally, even we do it with the podcast, but me as a person, I like to try and patronize anybody that I know that is doing something positive. I know right now, my girls know at T&J Lemonade, when Tech comes to town, you got a customer. You hear me?
That's because you're a junkie. That's because you're a junkie.
I got a problem and I ain't going to rehab. But they know I'm coming through. I'm not asking you, hey, let me get this one. Let me get this one for this month. No.
Right.
Y'all are doing something positive. Let's go ahead and do this. When I come to when I'm getting gear, whatever I'm doing, I'm asking you to how much is your cost? I either can or can't afford it. Like, let's be real.
Right.
Either I can or cannot afford it. But I'm not going to ask you to come down on it because I can't afford it. Now, when I'm dealing with my sister, that's a different story. Because I just tell them, like, yo, what's the cost? Like, how much can you get?
How much you want?
But you also, you know what else I do? Anytime somebody asks for something, hey, where'd you get that made? Where'd you get that done? Boom, here you go. There it is. Sometimes I'm just like taking orders and like, hey, give me a bid for this deal. Like, they already paid this much over here. Tell me how much it's going to cost, and let me see if I can get you in that. You know what I'm saying?
This is why this sits in this corner.
Absolutely.
For these pods, because we want you to understand, like, they are here. They are here, and they're here for us, and we are here for them. And I think that's just one of those things, again, dealing fairly with Black folks. You don't see it enough, but if more of us start to do it, they won't have to undercut their prices. They'll be able to say no to more people that come up and want the hookup. They'll be able to say more if more of us do the right thing and pay them what they ask. Again, we're not going to say pay them what they're worth, because they're worth way more than what they're asking for.
Right, right.
But if we just pay them what they ask so they can stay in business and continue to provide those services, if more of us just go up and say, what does it cost? Okay, I can afford it. Here it is. Those people that come up behind them and say, let me get a deal, they'll be able to say no to them. And that's all I want for us. That's all I want for us, is that ability to say no, because there are way too many Black businesses that don't have the option to say no.
Right.
They have to get this off. So they have to take those discounted rates, as opposed to customer number 4 is going to come over here and give me everything that I asked for. So customer number 3, you can kick rocks.
Right. Well, now that we're talking about that, let's flip it around. Tell me what your worst and best experiences has been with a Black-owned business.
Oh boy. Worst experience. Oh boy. I think I put this one up on Facebook about 10, 15 years ago. But we're going to a restaurant. The owner is in there fighting with the dude in the back. He fires Buddy on the spot. Owner goes back there and decides he's going to cook the food for us. He cooks some shrimp. Shell still on, fried shrimp. Shell still on him.
Oh no.
Goes back there, cusses dude out again while he's back there. I can do this myself. Cursing Buddy out. Buddy's outside, pacing, contemplating going in there, fighting the owner. The homegirl sitting in the car. He's sitting in the car. She was like, Tommy, I don't think I want to do this. I'm like, no, it's Black owned. We got to do it. We got to do it. Bruh. Owner comes out, go back in there, was like, hey, sir, this still has a shell on. I told that nigga back there, and he's going off on the guy he just fired. And it's the guy he fought, and it's his fault that you don't know how to run your business. And that was like the worst thing. When I was like, I'm going to continue to support. Now, that restaurant closed almost immediately.
Yep.
Because you don't know what you're doing. But it was something that I was like, I got to try it out. So that was one of the, that had to be the worst experience ever with a Black businesses. I go in there, you're arguing with your employee, you're telling him you can do it yourself, so you fire him, and then immediately fuck up my order. Terrible business. Now, the best experience I've had with a Black owner, not
a close family member.
Yeah, not one of us. Not
with us.
There's a restaurant around Jacksonville, soul food spot, pretty good. Heard some horrible things about the way they treat their customers because it's so busy there. But go in there and they pretty much give me a good deal. Like I went in, tasted some food, and I was like, something about this just isn't right. Go back up there. And normally it's, well, I don't care, but they gave me a pretty good experience. I've purchased some things from some street vendors. And because I bought so much of something, they were like, bruh, you came here and we needed this, so I'm going to give you something extra. Like that, like I've had a lot of good experiences, but the bad experiences, again, they stick out. They really stick out. Yeah. The bad, because again, I'm not accustomed to getting bad service from Black folks. I'm not accustomed to it. Like I understand, like I said before, last year with the Jamaican folks, like they're just mean. And they don't mean any harm. They're just mean. So when you go in there and say the wrong thing, you say peas and rice instead of rice and peas, you're gonna get the look. You're gonna get the, I'm not even gonna do it, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Like that's not necessarily a bad experience. That's just a cultural difference.
Right.
What you want. Just look at you. No hello. No, hey. Like you go, like there's a spot in Tallahassee, Miss O'Lean. You go in there, Miss O'Lean. Hey, baby, how you doing? Like she knows you, she remembers you, and she's gonna talk nice to you. Now you go in there to the other people, just gonna stand there and look at you for a minute.
Right. You know what to do.
Right, and then you ask for something. We don't have any. Okay, what do you have? And they look up at the board, like. If you don't have it, why am I asking you what you have? And you just look up at the board when I say, okay, let me get that one. We don't have it. These are the people. But again, they don't mean any harm. They don't mean any harm by it. I'm going to say they don't mean any harm.
Whatever.
Because everybody else that comes in there that's from the same culture, they understand it. And they don't get no pushback, so I'm not going to get no pushback either.
Well, so I have had. I think my problem is we all know like negativity stands out far more than positivity in
Mm-hmm.
most instances because it's so jarring, right?
Right.
You've had to have an emotional, visceral response, which is why it's important for good. You have to have phenomenal customer service to be considered good customer service.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's the only way it's going to stand out. Now, I've had several horrible experiences with black-owned businesses, and
Mm.
the problem is in most black-owned businesses, right? I mean, most businesses, you don't negotiate price.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. It's a sticker on the doggone teapot. You know how much that teapot costs, right?
Right.
However, when it comes to anything where the price is negotiable, it
Mm.
becomes a problem. I'm speaking directly to about a car lot,
Uh-huh.
a black owned used car lot, right?
Mm.
I got fussed at the same way we're fussing today. I got fussed at about trying to haggle over the price. Man, this is the problem. Black folks don't do each other right. Y'all always you want the best deal and trying to see how much you can get up. That would work if you were at a restaurant. It doesn't work at a car lot. That's the whole
Where
point. That's what
where
I'm here for.
haggling is a part of buying a car.
Exactly. So it's like, what are you talking about? And I was personally offended because it's like, dude, we're at a place where we've gone through all the motions. We've got here, you walked me around, extol the virtues and the benefits of these different vehicles, gave me keys to one and had me drive around. And now we're sitting at the table. We've done all the other stuff. Now we're at the table. Let's talk numbers. And now that we're talking numbers, you've got a problem.
Right.
Like,
Right.
what? So that was the worst. And it was the worst because it got bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not it wasn't just the fact that he was upset because I was tagging on the price. The way he talked to me, because now
Now
he's
you want to fight.
right. Well, yeah, I was close. He was talking to me as like in the beginning as if he was a brother who owned a business and I was a patron. By the time he got upset about the numbers, now it's talking to me like it's a dude. We're at a party, and you just told me that
Man.
you from Apopka. You
You
understand what I'm
for
saying? Yeah,
APK.
yeah, yeah. And that's what. And so now we're talking like that. Like, well, wait a minute, home, bro. So it's one of them. It's one of them things. Now, as far as the best experiences, they are yeah, dealing with a black-owned company,
Mm-hmm.
man. And I don't deal with very many black-owned large companies. So when I
Right.
say black-owned companies, I'm talking about the homeboy who's renting space in the back of the corner store, or
Right.
the brother who's out every third Saturday. There is a place. Listen to me. There is a place in Orlando on Ivy Lane, and you got to go next time you come here. It's called Jerkman.
You told me about the jerk,
Yeah,
man. You
bro.
did. Yeah.
When I tell you the prices are phenomenal, and the
Mm.
amount of food that you get for those prices is unbelievable, and the food is good.
Just make sure
Good.
he's gonna be there the weekend after Thanksgiving, man. I'm pulling up. I'm pulling up.
Right. And the problem is that you gonna wait for a while.
I don't mind the wait
Is- I
as long as he
when
gives
I
me what I
say
pay for.
when I say wait for a while, I mean they had the option to order online. I ordered online from work, which was about 15 minutes away. It was supposed to be ready in 20. We waited 30, drove the 15 minutes there, and still had to wait another 20 minutes before my food was out.
Bro,
Now,
I'm okay with that. Here's the thing: we're gonna do it. We're gonna go there. We're gonna do a review. We're gonna do a
we'll
live
do a
review.
review. Now, here's the thing. I have a problem because we compare the service and the customers to white folks. We
Mm-hmm.
say is this up to par with white folks? Is there are what they're doing over here? Because the complaint is, and I think this is a fair complaint. The complaint is that you'll spend money with white folks, but before you spend money for black folks. Well, then we start talking about, well, when I'm over at the white folks, this is what I get. This is what you're giving me over here.
Right.
And so when I think, and I will make the stance that we are uncommonly and undeservedly lenient with all other businesses outside of Black-owned businesses.
We are. We definitely are. We will say the worst experience I've had was with a Black company, and I don't want to deal with that. And it is not the case. Here's the thing. In my youth, I sold drugs, right? You know the worst customer base
I cannot
that I had?
confirm nor deny that.
You know the worst customer base I had?
White folks.
Yes.
Yep.
They are the worst.
Don't ask me how I know that. Don't ask me how I know that.
I'm telling my experience. I'm giving my experience. I'm not gonna tell on you.
That's your experience. Ain't nothing to tell on me about. Hey, listen, mama. I don't know what's wrong. He's a bad. I don't know.
In my younger day, in my younger day, in my youth, long time ago. But the worst, were like Black crackhead is gonna come. They're gonna bring $9 and want a 20, but they're gonna bring you a box fan. Are they gonna bring you a mattress? Are they gonna bring you a ceiling fan? Are they gonna bring you a mini refrigerator? They're gonna come and make sure that they give you something of value to get what they want.
We used to have a jug that worked for what is it, DHS? Was it the little delivery company? The little yellow
DHL.
DHL, bro. He would stop in the hood and have a truck full of stuff that he's selling.
Pick what you want. Get what you want.
I never bought anything DHL. Don't come after me. I ain't never get nothing. I was not dealing in stolen property. But you know what, brother? You're absolutely positively right. Because in my experience from friends who did stuff.
What you saw on TV? It was on TV, huh?
Right, on TV. It was because Black folks was always now. Once you got past weed, then everybody was kind of right. Niggas who want weed, they all still trying to negotiate.
Yeah, they
that feel a little light. How you
right?
How is this a perfect scale, nigga?
I can eyeball the eighth, bro.
Oh,
okay, eyeball.
Listen,
all right, eyeball.
Well, I'm glad you can eyeball because this Digi right here says
right. You know what I'm saying? Dude, dog, we had the homie. I ain't gonna say it, but the homie had the triple. So I'm like, dog, there's no way you're gonna beat this one.
No,
there's no way you're gonna beat this one.
No, sir.
Dog, we in high school. We in high school science class with this one, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but you had those, but yeah, the higher you got up, like there was one young lady, and I'm probably gonna edit this one out sometime at the end of it.
Oh,
but
boy.
Dude, we had a lady who would come once a month to clean my house ass naked.
Yo, what up, man? It's your boy Big Tech Dog, your favorite friendly level loudmouth. Hey, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page. All right? Peace.
Because she understood the value of what we were providing. So and again, you come here and it's like, I cannot give you all of your money, but what I can do, and you know how the little blue house. You remember the little blue house? She came and cleaned the little blue house once a month. And it was just, like I said, I'm probably gonna end up taking this out of here, but hey, it is what it is now. I'm down the hole now. I'm down the rabbit hole.
We down there now. Go ahead. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you something. So do you think that we hold Black businesses to too high of a standard, or are we expecting them to go farther than we expect white businesses?
We don't hold them to the same standard. I'm not going to say it's higher, and it's just not the same. It's just not the same. We'll accept some bullshit from some white folks that we won't accept from each other. And there's the problem that I have, is because, like, my mother is an equal opportunity offender.
Yes, indeed.
You take her to the Black folks establishment. Let me talk to your manager. But you take her to the white folks establishment. Let me talk to your manager. Like, that's that's where it has to be. It's not the fact that I expect something better from you that I don't expect from them. It's that I'm going to hold you both accountable equally. And if you are not going to give me what I want, there's going to be some repercussions. And my mother has taught me the power of the pen since I was a kid.
Yeah, buddy.
There were things that when you get a bad situation with a teacher or administrator, write a letter. What I realized from my mother was, if you get bad service, write it on the back of your check, because that cannot be thrown away. So when they bring you out that check, you write all that on the back of there. So now it's either I don't have to pay for this because you're going to throw this away, or this is going all the way to whoever cashes this check.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, my mother does not mind signing off and ruining your day.
And you know what? Never experienced it, but I can see it. Listen,
oh boy,
you know good and well, our fathers are similar and our mothers are similar. So,
yes, they are.
So
yes, they are.
What it is. Here's the thing. Like, I will tell you this. I went to this was back in May. I went. My son graduated high school, and we all tried to go out afterwards. Now, because we went from Lake County to Orange County, where they had the graduation in the arena, and then had to come back. So we're thinking we're going to bypass all the stuff in Orlando and come back out to Lake County, and realize that it was a Lake County school, so everybody else had the same idea. So
everybody's still here, right?
All the restaurants are packed, right? We end up at IHOP. We go into IHOP, and it's me and my wife, my cousin and her husband from well, they hadn't moved to Texas yet. And my daughter and somebody from the church was there, right? When I tell you, these people walked past us 30 times, and I'm like, yo, what is going on? And finally got a hold of somebody like, oh, well, she's your server. Waiting on her. I finally got up and went around the back where they be making the drinks and stuff. I'm like, excuse me, is anybody coming over to our table? Like, yeah, he'll be out in a minute. There's only one dude. He just told me you was the server, and now you telling me he's the server. When I finally was like, and I gotta go, y'all. Like, we need to just go. I'm so sorry. I know we waited, but I gotta go, because if I don't, there's
going to be a problem.
Right. Now, we all know IHOP is not black owned, but I watched a bunch of black servers walk right past me to go to these other tables, and including tables that came in after us. So I wrote, I didn't call IHOP corporate for what? Because they're going. That's got to filter down from somewhere. I don't know where IHOP's headquarters, but you know what I mean. I went on Facebook, and I went on Instagram, and I went to their page, that local one's page, and made my comment. I got a phone call from the owner 2 days later. It was 2 days.
Right, because they're franchised. So so you have a local owner.
Right. So what he did, though, he said, listen, I read what you said. Not only did I read what you said, I went back and looked at the cameras, and I see what you said was accurate. He's like, I just wanted to make sure I've already addressed these people, these servers or whatever, and I want to know what I can do to win your service back. I have not been back to that IHOP yet. However, I told him, I'm like, well, you know, I said, the problem is that I got people who came from 2 different states, and they didn't get what they needed either. You know what I'm saying?
This is their experience with you.
Right. He sent my sister, who is with us in Atlanta, sent her a huge gift card for IHOP, sent my cousin and her husband all the way over there in Texas, sent them a gift card for any IHOP. And that was his way of going out of his way to try to win my service back. Did he get me back? No. Do I have a grudge against IHOP? No. But you know what? I went from I'm never going back there again to, next time I want IHOP, I'll go to that one. Because I've had nothing but a bad experience there. But the effort was to try and fix it. And I think what happens with us is that we're like the Democratic Party. We're starting to take black folks for granted. You understand what I'm saying? We are starting to look at black folks like, well, you're supposed to shop black. Well, no, I'm supposed to shop with what is going to be best for me. And if all things being equal, or even a little unequal, if you're a little bit less than this one over here, I'm still going to shop with my people. If I can help it, I'm going to shop with my people. However, if I'm looking for a bottle and I can't find one, and you're proclaiming that you have it and you don't have it, I got to go find the white folks to get what I need.
And that's where we are right now with what we tried to do last year. we ran out of options. And now I'm getting a lot of people sending me black alcohol, black beverages, and I'm like, we're past that. We tried, and it became too much of a task to do. And we did our due diligence. We did our legwork.
Oh, yeah.
We went to different places, and it just wasn't that. Now, just my last thing on what we were discussing before.
Yes, sir.
And for me, when black folks work at white establishments, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to give them a bad review. It's hard for me. Like I say, my mother, she does not have any respect of person. It's about, you didn't give me what I want. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're whatever. My mother wants what she wants. For me,
right.
If you are, I don't want you to look bad in front of these people. As bad as you treated me, I still do not want you to be fired, because I know you need this. So I don't want to do anything to harm your living. And I'm trying my best now to get away from that and not care. But like I told you guys earlier in the episode, I care about the people. I'm a man of the people. And again, I'm an asshole, so I'm gonna cuss you out, but I'm not gonna tell. But I'm not gonna tell them. I'm not gonna tell your boss. You're gonna know how I feel, but I'm not gonna tell.
Well, do you think that we've gotten too sensitive? Because, like, I remember back in the day, you'd have an old head, they'll cuss you straight out, call you all every name but a child of God, but they all also took you under their wing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was a chastising and then a scolding and then let me show you how it's supposed to be done. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, though, there's no room for that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, at this age that we're at right now, do you get called sir a lot or Mr.?
I am sir. I am sir.
I get a lot of that. I get a lot of that from, I guess, they're kids, but I mean, we're talking 20-something-year-olds. Like, yes, sir.
But
no, sir.
For me, it's the gray. It's the gray. And I'm like, how you think I am? And they always come under, but it's the
gray. But what I think is that we don't have that same level of respect for our seniors that we used to. So everybody thinks that they know everything. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So now nobody can come and tell me anything, and I can't tell anybody else anything. You understand what I'm saying? So I think we're missing out a lot when it comes to being able to glean this information from our seniors. And they're trying to tell us how to do it.
But like you said in the previous pods, these kids think you got to give respect to get respect.
Absolutely not.
As opposed to, I'm coming with respect regardless.
Off the top, up front.
Right. So I think that's where it lands a lot of times, is your server will come to you expecting you to set the tone of how it's going to go, as opposed to, and again, not just servers at restaurants, but whomever you're trying to patronize, they're going to come to you and look for you to set the tone, as opposed to, this is my establishment, this is my business. I'm going to come to them with a level of respect that if they don't give it back, it's still going to be okay, because I respect the customer. Right. And I'm not saying the customer's always right, but the customer should always be respected.
Listen, now that you've said that, and you looked at it from both sides, and right there, what you just put a pin on it, they're not always right, but they always should be respected. Give me how can I say, a little comparative analysis, right, of dealing with black customers or coworkers too, because I think it's one thing that we kind of glossed over. It doesn't have to be when you're dealing in business as a businessman with another black-owned business. How do they interact with each other? But give us your analysis of dealing with black customers and colleagues versus other races. Like, let's just say white folks as customers and colleagues. How do you think, first of all, I guess, which side do you think is easier to deal with, a black customer or a black colleague?
I think dealing with a black customer is easier because they're not someone that you're going to see regularly. When you're dealing with a black colleague, they're someone you're probably going to deal with on a daily, weekly basis, as opposed to a customer that you may see once every blue moon or so.
Well,
So I'm gonna say,
let me clarify colleague.
mhm.
When I maybe that's probably the wrong word. When I say colleague, I mean a fellow entrepreneur or a fellow business
Okay,
owner.
okay,
So
okay.
your business is doing business with a black
Business
owner.
within business to business. Okay,
Right.
business to business. Uh, I would still say the customer, because dealing business to business, they understand the end goal.
Right.
So even though they may try to negotiate or scam or whatever it may be, they still understand that you're a business as well. So they have some of the same thought process that you do. So you can see when they're trying to be a little shady, and you can navigate that a little bit more than when it's a customer. And when it's a customer, for me, again, I haven't sold much in my life,
Mhm.
but the things that I did sell, it was always a walk away game. You don't want this, that's fine. Go down there and get it. And I will walk away because I understood the hustle in everyone.
Right.
Now, when it comes business to business,
Mhm.
that's one thing where it's, especially when it's something that you need, when
Right.
it's something that you actually need, and they're trying to get you to go above and beyond what it should be, that's when it becomes a problem. But again, it's more often that the customer base is going to be the more difficult. But if you have that stern, you need me more than I need you, and that's always where I'm going to stand with anything. Even when I was working on phones doing sales and retentions and that sort of thing, I'm the guy that's going to turn off your service right there because you need us more than we need you. And it's not necessarily that I don't really care, but we're going to see who cares more. I care because a lot of times my paychecks depended on it. But
Right.
again, it's one of those situations where you need this more than I need you. So, and if you're gonna get rid of it, you're not gonna get rid of it on my watch, because I will call your bluff. So for me, it was, customer bases are a lot more difficult than the peer to peer.
Now, let me ask you this then. What about dealing with white customers and white colleagues or other business owners?
Okay.
Which one is more difficult to deal with?
White people.
Well, of course. I mean, white customers or white colleagues.
I said what I said.
Say less.
But seriously, there is. Here's the thing. Like
Hey,
black folks.
We got to put that on a t-shirt. We gonna put "Let's get canceled." I said what I said.
but it's the truth, because there is when you're dealing with black folks, certain things they can hear in you,
Yeah.
and they were like, I'm not gonna fuck with him on that.
Right.
There is a level of disrespect that comes from white people where
Ooh, boy.
that superiority that comes through,
Yes, sir.
where even if they need you, you're beneath me,
Yes, sir.
and I will and you're going to be like that. There is a level of disrespect that comes through, even without being like
Overtly racist.
right,
It's just
right. I was gonna say, but when there is that situation where you get to be, it's above me now.
mhm.
That is the best thing. Like, I used to work on the phones for a company, and I had this white boy curse me and call me nigga. He just yelled nigga on the phone, and my supervisor came over like, send me this call, and I was like, nope, not gonna do it. And she was like, Tom, send me this call right now. And as soon as he finished, all I said was, sir, do you live at blah 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 blah? Your telephone number is blah 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 blah. And at that moment, all of that aggression he had was, I know where you live, sir.
But
And
you were
this
definitely were not threatening anybody using information.
no,
That
no, no,
people,
no,
nope,
no,
nope, nope,
no
nope, nope,
threats were
nope.
made. There was just awareness being provided,
Right. Just you
and
were
that's all I want you to
verifying.
know.
You were verifying his address is what you were doing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I
For
had to
service.
verify
For service.
this is who I'm speaking with, correct? And when they realized, like, oh yeah, And as much as you hated this nigga, you might realize like, oh, I'm on the phone with a nigga though. And if you know where I live, you got to put that into their heads.
You get to play on their own inherent prejudices and fears.
Right. And right. So but there were some of the worst things that you would deal with. And this is why you guys are, and I make this much. And I'm like, and the thing was when they told me how much they made, and I was like, I'm on the phones and I make more than you though. But you can't say that. So you just say, oh, that's unfortunate. And they're trying to flex on, but they're trying to flex on y'all make $25 an hour. Oh, that's unfortunate. And you gotta, and when you're able to break them, and like, what do you mean unfortunate? You need to come work for my company. Like,
oh boy. Oh, I was sweating just now. You almost said it.
Bro, I almost gave it to him. But those situations there, like the disrespect that comes from some of those people because of that sense of entitlement. And like black folks, they gonna sit there and rah with you because y'all just too high. But the other folks can't just say y'all just too high, but it's a personal thing against me.
Right.
And that's when it became fun for me. And they had to get me off the phones because I was having way too much fun playing with folks.
Well, you know what I think though? I think that may be the difference. And out of all of this stuff, out of all the problems that I have with black patrons and some black business, I'll give my side. My comparative analysis, right? Dealing with black customers and black colleagues. When I deal with black customers, there is oftentimes an immediate sense of familiarity. And and that feels good because they feel like you're one of them and I feel like they're one of me. And it's a real quick just, oh man, we're on the same page together.
Stay with that thought, but give me one second. Give me one question inside of that.
Go ahead.
When you see that sense of familiarity with one another, do you think that it comes with I can get over or I can get something in return, or is it just a brotherhood of brotherhood?
I at this moment, I feel like, well, I can't say that. I think the majority of it is a brotherhood. And by brotherhood, I mean just I walked in
and I didn't know somebody that looked like me. Right. I feel comfortable.
Exactly. Now, what I am aware of now, though, is that once I get that feeling, I've got to be right, wrong, or indifferent, ready for the come on, brother. Like, come on.
You got to be hyper aware of the potential for bullshit.
Exactly. Now, we're dealing with black colleagues, like other black-owned businesses. My experience has been overwhelmingly positive. I can't tell you in an instance where my business had to work with another black business and it wasn't one of the greatest experiences of my life. And we're talking about when I do whether it's my company and working with no, not all churches. Not business. So I'm thinking of a business. So like Silver Sounds, right? Silver Sounds.
I was just about to go there.
Overwhelmingly positive.
Amazing business.
And then I've got plenty of other, like I've got a music store here. As a matter of fact, y'all would recognize it as After Hour Studios, where we did our Hip Hop 50 episode.
Hip Hop. That was an amazing spot. That was an amazing spot there. Yeah, we're going back.
We got to go back. But that's the music store here in Clearmont, Florida. And the thing about it is that man, I met him on a humbug because he sold my father-in-law a guitar for my oldest son. My oldest son had to be maybe 5 years old, 6 years old at the time, and he's 23 now. You know what I'm saying? So let's be clear. But my father-in-law bought him a little amp and a little guitar. I didn't even know there was a music store in the city, so I went over there, like a local music store. I went over there and found out he had a jam session on the third Saturdays or something like that. I went out there for window, and from there on, I was there all the time. When I started my business, and and went full time with Authentic Artistry, he was one of those guys like, what do you need? What do you, are you good? Hey, if you need to talk to somebody, he's never asked me for a dime. He was trying to give me as many hookups as possible. At one point, I had extra space that I hadn't developed out yet. And he was like, do you want me to come put a store over there? He said, it'll help me out, but I can pay you. You don't have steady. Like, that's the type of stuff that he's done. So to this day, that man can call me right now and go, hey, I got an emergency tomorrow. I need. And if I can make it happen, I'm going to be there and make it happen for him because he's always.
I'm gonna make you because that man saved my hat. That man, I left a hat there after the episode, and it came back to me.
And those are the
type always got my respect.
So all my experiences with Black-owned businesses have been great. Like I don't have a bad story about a Black-owned business that I dealt with in business, like as in like vendor to vendor type of situation. It's always been love. I haven't even, not even those horror stories where people are like, oh, well, they got clicked up over here. Everybody's been like really open and embracing. And then I've got Black people, performers, who reach out to me solely to take care of them because they know that I'm going to do the best that I can. And they're always, I haven't had a situation where I walked in and they were, oh, well, we didn't get nope. I walk in, I get that envelope. Thank you very much. I'm going to set up. And that's how we do things. Now, white customers, like you said, there is an inherent feeling of being entitled to the best and more than what you offer. If it says that I offer eggs and bacon on the menu, they want sausage and pancakes. If it's and if you don't have it, it's, oh my God, the world is ending. I had an experience watching, and I wasn't even involved. I watched as this dude was berated at a bar, and they yell. And I mean, this Black dude, he was not inebriated, and they were just going on and they're, oh, well, you need to da, da, da. And I don't know what precipitated it. I don't know what started it. I don't know nothing. What I do know is that there was never a time short of physical violence that any customer should ever be spoken to like that. Ever. And so I watched in horror and I was like, wow, because I've seen white ladies do much worse and say a whole lot more and get served another drink. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That is crazy. Now, white businesses, business to business, they won't verbalize it. They won't verbalize it, but there is this feeling of being less than when doing business with another white-owned business. And when I say white-owned business, I'm not talking about Nike or like I mean like I'm a local sound guy and you're a local sound guy. You automatically believe that you have more knowledge than I do. You have more experience than I do, or that you can do a better job than I do. And 99 times out of 100, I have to come back and fix a problem that you made. You know what I'm saying? Like a situation where you screwed up. And so there's this air of my business is more legitimate than your business. Now, I think part of that is our fault. And when I say our, I mean Black folks, because we've made them feel like they are the standard, like you said, and we won't deal with each other. So that's amazing to me. It's different than what we talked about before, where it was like, no, we went into that industry and took it over in that industry. But what I'm saying is industry to industry, they all think that they're better than you.
Right. And it doesn't matter how long they've been a part of the industry. They could come in after you and still feel I know more.
Right.
Because of where I learned my information from. And it's the same thing that we get with some of these colleges. We've got these HBCU graduates that come out and have more education than others. But because I went to this particular school and you went to that one, I had a different educational background. So I know more than you did because you went there. The name of my school trumps you. And that I can never appreciate. I will never succumb to. and I give everybody the business based on me. That's one thing that they realized about me now. Like, I'm never gonna take the back seat to any of you.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Hey, I've done this. Well, guess what? And I will run down my resume with yours based on what I do, and
we'll see who. And when it all boils down, it's who does the better job. And
right.
I think I'm like my auntie. I like to go where the quality is. I want to go where I'm treated right, and my money goes the farthest. That's my primary.
That's
now. That being said, I will give every one of my brothers and my sisters an opportunity to have me spend my dollars with you.
That's the thing. The opportunity is going to be given.
Right. Absolutely. But when we give the opportunity, it's up to the business not to fumble it. But giving an opportunity does not mean coming in and asking for a discount or giving more crap to this black-owned business than you would to a white-owned establishment.
Right.
Period. Point blank in the story. That's just the way things go. I believe that black people can do everything at a superior level. That's just my belief because I've been around.
We should be elite.
Absolutely. And so
because when we got here, they made us do everything for them. Yep. So we learn how to do it the way they like it.
Yep.
And here's the thing. They never learn how to care for us the way we care for them. They never care, but that's going to be a whole different conversation. I'm not going to start that one yet. Nope. I'm not going to do it because we're already over. So we're not.
Hey, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say this. I saw a post a long time ago and I reposted it then. What do you think would happen if white people loved black people as much as they love black culture?
Bro.
That's it. I know. Nope. We talked about us today. I think overall, comparatively, between black customers and colleagues versus white customers and colleagues, I still, right now, would choose my black customers and black colleagues over doing business with white customers and white colleagues. Not that I wouldn't do business with them. I'm just saying, if you told me, hey, you can only have one for the rest of eternity, I'm going with my peoples. And the reason being is because, number one, the colleague experience has been more than I don't have those horror stories of being screwed over by your own people. When it comes to that, I don't have them. Everybody I run into has been great. And that alone gives me faith in the customers because every colleague is a customer somewhere.
Indeed. So yeah, I'm definitely I'm always pick us. I'm always pick us. I want to, because the opportunities haven't always been there for us. So when I see an opportunity that we can do something great, I'm going to give us an opportunity to do something great. That's the bottom line for it. And there are less of us than everybody else. So we got to come together and we got to promote one another. And that's going to be the game for the night. Real simple, real easy. Support black business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Support black business.
Well, cousin.
What up, man?
We have not been canceled yet.
Not quite, but I don't know what that response is going to be to your boy Sterling with dropping some jewels on it.
There may be some backlash from Tiffany Dawn's people because they like the cake for her, but I'm caping for the homeboy Sterling.
Absolutely. All day and twice
on Sunday. Appreciate you coming through, Sterling.
Absolutely. So listen, man, y'all make sure that you search out. I know they've got an episode dropping. They just started the Bald Headed Barbershop podcast. Search it on all platforms. They've got some reels and stuff out now. I think the full length episode is coming shortly. Shout out to my boy Sterling for stopping by, man, and taking out from his trip to make sure he came on and support the brothers, giving us a Let's Get Canceled exclusive.
Baby.
Nobody has heard from the actual man. You heard it here first. Remember that.
All right, man. Well, I love you, boy.
Hey, man, I love you too, man. Thank you for sticking this out with me. We're going to keep this thing rolling, homie.
Yes, indeed. We love y'all too. We're
going
to holler.
Peace.